And to that, I say get used to it. Hello, and welcome to Yardline Yammer. I'm your girl TT, and we want to thank you for joining us here. This is our brand new channel where we will be discussing all things college football. So, this video is a follow up to our previous video posted back in mid April that listed the top 25 football players that were in the transfer portal according to 24/7 Sports. Now, there have been some updates. At the time, there were two that were uncommitted. There's now one that has changed his commitment and a new entry onto the top 25. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into those changes. Starting with number 7, Jason Zandamela. He's leaving USC and going to Florida. At the position of offensive lineman, Zandamela is a freshman, so there are currently no college stats on him. Why he's leaving? Zandamela enrolled at USC January 2024, then entered the transfer portal only 3 months later. He was sought after by many schools and committed to Florida on May 3rd. Speculation as to why Zandamela decided to enter the transfer portal involves the projection that he would play center for the Trojans. But there was later a change of plans, and Jonah Monheim is now slated to play the center position. Zandamela hasn't made a public statement regarding his reason, but this, along with several players leaving USC, could be the reason. Will he start? As of May 26th, Zandamela's name is not currently displayed on the Florida football roster. Next is number 21, previously number 22, Cormani McClain. He's leaving Colorado and heading to Florida. At the position of cornerback, Cormani had 6 solo tackles and 2 passes defended last year. Why he's leaving? As stated in my previous video, Cormani had issues with how Coach Deion Sanders conducted business. With Cormani coming in as one of the top recruits, he and Sanders clearly had different expectations on how things would go down on the field. He, along with at least 50 other players, made a major move and entered the transfer portal during the winter and spring windows. Will he start? Based on OurLads.com, McClain will start with the Gators this fall. Next is the new number 25, Antoine Wells Jr., aka Juice Wells. He is leaving South Carolina and heading to Ole Miss. At the position of wide receiver, Wells was injured early in the season and had 3 receptions for 37 yards and 1 touchdown. Why he's leaving? It was highly speculated last year that Wells would be entering the NFL draft, but after sitting out most of last year due to a foot injury, he announced in November 2023 that he would return to South Carolina, therefore leaving Gamecocks fans surprised when he decided to enter the portal during the winter transfer window. Will he start? According to OurLads.com, Wells Jr. is slated to start for Ole Miss this upcoming season. I hope he's fully recovered and back to his old self this season. And lastly, I will cover Tyler Barron, previously the number 19 on the list, but is no longer listed in the top 25, therefore moving other top 25s up by 1. He is leaving Louisville and headed to Miami. At the position of defensive lineman, edge, last year he had 16 solo tackles and 6 sacks. Why he's leaving? As stated in my previous piece, in December, Barron chose to leave Tennessee with fellow teammate Tamarian McDonald to go to Ole Miss. Once McDonald flipped to go to Louisville, Barron did the same. According to thegridironreview.com, Barron suffered a shoulder injury and missed the spring game with Louisville. Afterwards, he went back into the portal during the April window and chose Miami. The article also stated, and I quote, "Transferring for your graduate season isn't uncommon, so despite Barron being a Knoxville native, him entering the portal, we don't have an issue with that. What we do have an issue with is the way that Barron has conducted himself throughout his time in the portal. Look, we get it. A player of Barron's caliber is going to have a lot of offers from major programs who want him badly, but committing 3 separate times in the span of half a year isn't the greatest look in our eyes. Granted, we don't know much about Barron, so we certainly do not want to make assumptions about him and or his character. Just looking from the outside, it's odd to see someone switch their commits 3 times." End quote. And to that, I say get used to it. Unfortunately, these are the times that we're in. NIL deals are going to draw these guys in different directions as they assess the full picture of their future. NFL is not guaranteed no matter how talented one is. So if these students can make the money now, we should expect that that's exactly what they're going to do. Unless, of course, you're from a wealthy family, and in that case, it doesn't matter so much. As for the other Tennessee transfer, Tamarion McDonald, he committed to St. Louis Tech on December 16th, then later that same day committed to Ole Miss. Then on January 8th, he committed to Louisville. As of today, he is still committed to Louisville. While this rounds out the top 25 based on 24/7 Sports, there are still outstanding players that remain uncommitted, namely Jacoby Matthews, defensive back safety, who has spent the past 2 years at Texas A&M, and Sayer Wright, cornerback, who has spent his past 3 years at USC. Thank you so much for watching. My next video will be around the NCAA settlement that allows schools to pay their players as well as back payment to previous players. So if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and do that now and hit that notification bell so you'll know when it posts. Again, thank you, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.